Hello, thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a bit of a chit-chatty video in a part of my series on prepping for postpartum. And the main reason that I'm filming this video now with not all of the things that I would love to have here is because my room has become a bit chaotic and I am now approximately 4 weeks out from meeting my third baby. The bump is getting big. We are 34 weeks today, and yeah, Archer came at 38 weeks. So I'm just trying to be a little bit more prepared this time. And for those of you who don't know already, I plan on following the 5-5-5 rule. If you haven't seen all of my videos already, I will link some of them down below where I describe in a little bit more detail what that 5-5-5 rule entails, how I plan on following it, and some other cute little bits and pieces. I'm going to be sharing some recipes, some ways in which I plan on supporting myself postpartum and how you can support yourself postpartum. But it's such a big journey that I think we don't do enough preparation for. Anyhow, today you are going to be making up a postpartum like side table caddy type situation. I have a little caddy here that I have previously used for veggies, and I've just given it a really good clean, and I'm just going to pull things out and organize them as we go. Some of the other bigger items, like bulkier items that I'm going to try and organize after, I'm just going to pull up and show you, or maybe like lift one or two up and show you. So I'm going to start with one of my mainstays and my staples, and things that I'm already using, and that is my drinks containers. First one being this beautiful water bottle. I like a nice straw bottle. This one keeps your water or whatever you're drinking nice and cool. So both for labor, I'll be using this with like a labor aid cocktail in here, or maybe a mineral drink, and for postpartum as well, because as we release milk, we get that nice surge of oxytocin, which can make us have this like almost, I could like drink an entire lake all of a sudden feeling. So this is going to be really important. So that'll be beside my bed. And the other thing is a massive flask. This one is very much loved. We bring it to camping, we bring it on family outings. It comes with like several little lids. But this, the reason I'm going to be bringing this upstairs with me is that I have already made, as a part of my postpartum planning, several little canisters and containers of postpartum drinks. Herbal drinks, sweet, warming herbs and spices, and milky drinks and yolky drinks. But the idea with this is that alongside those herbal drinks and more milky drinks, I want to have at least one canister of broth every single day. So I am working on building up a little bit of a stash of that, but this means that I can have something that is warm to sip on throughout the day without having to like get anybody to come up and down the stairs a million times, and I can have something that is easy access. I know last time one of the things that I actually struggled with was maintaining hydration and eating enough. So this time around I'm going to try and see how I can make that easier, and see if I can like nudge the duration of time that I'm able to rest for. So I think that's going to make a big difference. Another thing that I have done is placed a little order from Earth Mother, which is, if you're living in Ireland, one of the best places to buy things like nappies, breastfeeding supplies, more organic sort of low tox cleaning products and things like that. And so I have gone, we do cloth diapering, cloth nappying, and actually as a family we find it a lot easier to do that when they're smaller, because if your baby's under 6 months and they're breastfed, you don't need to scoop off the poop, you just throw the whole thing into the wash. And so actually I do love doing that. However, this is going to be, we're gonna have approximately 4 children in and around the house, and so it's going to get quite chaotic. And I think for myself, particularly while I'm not doing the laundry, I feel like the size 1s and size 2s, getting those in a compostable version were really helpful. So we have tried and tested several different kind of more eco, closer to nature brands, and the ones that I come back to every time are the Kitten Kin brand. So I got 2 boxes. the size 1s and the size 2s. I generally have smaller babies. Both of my babies were in and around £6 when they first born. So I got teeny tiny, look how small. I'm so excited to see a little bum in here. But I am going to stockpile a few little nappy bits and pieces into this caddy. I think that's going to be helpful alongside some wipes. We generally don't do like bought wipes. I just never have. For me, it was always like it always felt like a little bit of a waste of money. But I am going to get a little package of wipes just for the bedside table. I feel like that will be helpful. Generally, once I'm up and moving, I just use cloth nappies or cloth wipes. I also have 2 of these are the G nappies, which they don't make anymore, but I love them, with a little bamboo insert. 2 of these that are going to go into the caddy in case I do fancy cloth diapering. Another thing that's new here is that I bought a breastfeeding pillow. And as a lactation consultant, I don't love breastfeeding pillows because I feel like what can happen is you can sort of, this is just the one from IKEA, it was like 30 quid, is you can have, see with the sort of rounded dip, your baby can fall into that. But I actually feel like, because that's something that I'm aware of, and I found last time that I was really holding myself tight around, because I wasn't bringing pillows around, excuse me, it's hay fever season. Another one? No. Because I wasn't bringing pillows around with me, it meant that I wasn't like benefiting from not having one. Whereas if you have your partner at home for an extended period of time, or you have somewhere where you're always going to be nursing, for instance, you've got like a nursing chair or a rocking chair or whatever, then I think you don't need a nursing pillow at all. However, if you have twins and if you find that you are chasing the baby, so bringing yourself to the baby instead of the baby to you, a breastfeeding pillow can be helpful. I'll let you know how I get on with it. I've just cleaned the cover. We'll see. I also feel like it could be quite sweet for sort of having a little baby nesting in there, just if I'm running to the loo or something. So that's going to be interesting, and I'll feed back on that and let you know how I get on. Gosh, okay, I had to go and have like a little sneezing fit and like a nose blow session. And I also realised that I totally forgot to plug my microphone in. So that is now in now. And I wonder if you guys can hear me any better. Do feedback to me and let me know, because I'm just trialing some new situations here to see what will work. But where was I? Nappies, I think. Cloth wipes, maybe. I have a little bag here, so there's the other G nappy, and I have a cloth bag here that I can just put either the dirty cloth nappies into, or put some wet wipes into. So that's going to be really helpful. The next thing is a heat pack. My plan is to be so warmth, you know, helps with circulation from a sort of a Chinese medicine perspective, helps with the postpartum cramping, can help us to sort of keep our bodies well supported for healing. And so this is one of my most favorite things. I actually bought this for, I was getting a lot of like migraines and tension headaches, and it's so lovely for this, but also really lovely for the sort of the abdomen and the lower back. And so typically you have increased sensation of those postpartum contractions as our uterus comes back down to size, the more babies you have. So I'm fully anticipating needing this and my TENS machine. I also have a couple of tinctures and things like that which might help, but this is going to be a must-have, and I plan on having like a nice warm womb for at least the first week. So just heating this up sporadically throughout the day. The other thing in terms of keeping warm that I have is some nice wool socks. So I'm going to be keeping, probably dressed in this with a heat pack on my womb and wearing my very cute dressing gown. So I plan on being skin to skin with this baby and not really going anywhere else for, it would be nice to do that for the first month if we could. This is a very sweet little dressing gown. It's pure cotton. Nice little flowery number. I feel like it's dressy enough that it's not like the one on the back of the door that's just cozy and cuddly from Pennies. This one is the Carolyn Donnelly brand from Dunnes Stores. It was, still haven't taken the tag off yet. Oh, hilarious. It doesn't say. It says dusty light blue kimono. but I'm very excited to wear this. My plan is that I can just laze around in this and have baby skin to skin and still be able to potter up and down the stairs and answer the doorbell if I need to and look somewhat put together. So excited about that. And the other thing that I've actually invested in is a nice pair of like linen pajamas that are buttoned down, so easy to breastfeed in, but also if you are like me and you experience the postpartum sweats, it can be really uncomfortable to be in anything that's too slimy or sticky or silky or fleecy. So I wanted really light, airy materials that I can wash and dry quickly, but also stay really comfortable in. So that's what I'm wearing. Now on to what baby will be wearing. So I haven't put like a whole load of stuff beside the bed, but I feel like because like that I plan on being skin to skin with baby for a long period of time. But I have just put 3 little onesies. This one here is so sweet. Again, all of these were either secondhand or used by our other babies. These are from Spearmint Love, little kind of waffle material. This one I wore when I was little, so it's like a terry cloth material, depending if baby's a little bit bigger. But I would like to get a picture in that one, so that's there to remind me more than anyone else. And then this last but not least is from Olivia. Oh, Olivia. But it's very cute. It's got this little like feather pattern, and it's a hand-me-down. So you probably saw there, we mostly go for zippered onesies. It's not worth it to be fiddling around with the buttons if you really don't have to. And we don't tend to go for fussy outfits. No extra frills, no buttons, no like ruffles. You could probably also saw that not a whole lot of that is very girly, and we are expecting a baby girl. Mostly because we plan on having more babies, and I didn't want to invest a whole load of money in. So yeah, I'm not into it. So that's that. The next thing in terms of what baby is wearing, what I'm wearing baby in, is some wraps and carriers. I have these two here, are my tried and true favorites from my previous last 2 babies. So this is the Moby wrap. I'll have to share my little tutorial on how to tie them up like this in this kind of like French braid. Very, very handy to just hang up. And just they can get a bit bulky and get in the way. But this one's really nice for the early days because it's dual stretch, so it stretches both ways. Once baby gets a bit heavier, I love this one, which is my, is this one maybe the Moby? This one is the Moby. So what is this one? Does it say anywhere? Probably doesn't. I'll try and find out where this one is from. But this is the Moby wrap, so this is only a one-way stretch. It doesn't stretch this way, only stretches this way, which is nice as baby gets a bit heavier and you can just feel the weight of them tugging on your shoulders, obviously making sure that you're wearing it properly. But I love this colour as well, this sort of like ochre colour, I guess. Again, unisex, but wonderful once I'm more up and about to have that, and once Pete is back in college and I'm going to be just me at home with the kids, I feel like that will be really, really helpful. Next thing on the sort of tinctures, lotions and potions. Is there anything in there I'm missing? Oh yeah, scrunchie, lip balm. There's a homemade lip balm that I have somewhere there. It's like cocoa butter and all sorts of other lovely things. Nappy cream. My babies don't tend to get nappy rash, but if they do, this is the one that I normally use. It's like a zinc based calendula cream, really nice for delicate skin. It's by the brand Veleda, so that's really lovely. And then scrunchies, tie the hair back. Also nice if you find yourself struggling to know which breast you have fed from last, if you're not just going by the field test, to leave a scrunchie on your hand so you know which one to feed from for the next feed. I also have left beside me 2 tinctures. Rose tincture I loved last time, a really nice for sort of heart opening, helps me to just be really like gentle with myself, and also just tastes delicious in water. And then the other one that I have got here is from my lovely friend Bia Dondia, and it's cramp bark, which I plan on utilising for my postpartum cramps if I need it. The other things that I have got here in terms of like lotions and potions, I have some like foot soaks and some bath salts that I want to use, but if I can't access the bath, or I'm just feeling like I could do with a little bit of a womb massage just for reconnection, I've got this magnesium spray. This is from the brand Better You. I love these. It's not too sticky and not too tingly. It's like that nice in between and doesn't have any scent or anything, so that's really lovely. Sorry, I'm so sniffly. It must be so distracting. And then the next thing is so I always say do your own research in terms of all interventions, and we have done a variety of things in terms of vitamin K. So we have done vitamin K injection, we have done no vitamin K, and now we're going to be doing vitamin K orally. So this brand here, normally I reckon if you're going to give it IV, because or IM, so intramuscular injection, because you know that your baby's going to get it all, and sometimes when things don't taste very nice, our babies can spit it out. And some of the ingredients list I wasn't super keen on, because they tend in Ireland to use exactly the same formulation for an intramuscular injection, or not for the oral dosage, as they would for an intramuscular injection, which, as you can imagine, is full of all sorts of nonsense. This one doesn't seem to be too bad. It's from the brand Neoceuticals, and I'll see how I feel about it. I'll see how I feel about it at the time, but I thought it would be nice to have in case I do change my mind. Let's talk about breastfeeding stuff. So I have had, even though I'm a lactation consultant, have had struggles with breastfeeding. It's not always straightforward, and I have struggled with a lot of the things, from tongue tie to mastitis to an oversupply and a forceful letdown with my first. And so I've got a couple of things on hand for this time round. I plan on, with my other babies, so I'm still tandem feeding, so my nipples sensitivity I don't expect to be extreme. However, I do have these little silver breast shells on hand, which are just really, really lovely and cooling and soothing to put on for sore nipples. So I have those beside me. Previously, I have done an awful lot of like trying to pump, trying to always catch the letdown, really focusing on not letting any milk go to waste. And this time round, I'm planning on being much more relaxed about that, as in, if there's milk leakage, I can catch it or I can not catch it. I'm not going to get myself in too much of a tizzy over it. I have got both the haka and some breast shells. These are just the nuke ones that I plan on just having on hand to catch whatever letdown might come in. But I'm trying to not get myself in these. They put together like this. This is the difference between a breast shell and like a milk catcher, or a milk catching device, or a breast pump and a milk catching device. So as you can see with this, the nipple just pops in there and it just collects whatever would be leaking on the alternative side. No suction applied. Versus something like this, or an actual breast pump, should be applied like this. Flipped upside down. Where's that breast I was using a minute ago? Nipple central in the cavity with a little bit of suction there, whoop, and then it pops up over it. To really reduce the amount of suction on there. However, even the smallest amount of suction can be enough to remove more milk. And so unless you're very careful about making sure that your baby has already fed from that breast, that you could be taking milk away from what your baby might need. But also that suction can release another letdown that then in turn tells a message to your brain that says we need to make more milk. And so we can end up with an oversupply problem. So I'm very, very mindful of these. My plan is to use it very, very gently. And I also plan on doing a little bit of milk donation this time around. I did it with my first, did not do it with my second, and I plan on doing it again. So we'll see if we'll see how we go, because they now accept milk from the haka. They didn't used to. You had to do extra pumping, and I didn't have the time or capacity to do any fictitious feeds last time round. So this is what I will be doing. I also have some disposable and reusable breast pads. I love the bamboo ones. These ones here are also, they're not fantastic because they're not reusable, but the ones from Leinster are really, really good if you have some significant milk soakage that needs to be absorbed, just to keep you fresh and dry. Really good if you're out in public. Again, will I use these? Who knows? Let's talk about leaking from the other end. So you're going to be having leaky breasts. You're also going to be having some bleeding. So I have pre-made my bed, double made my bed with some reusable incontinence sheets in between. And so if my waters don't release in bed, or if my what am I trying to say? Or if I don't labour in bed, then my plan is to just strip off that top layer, and I can just hop straight into bed with the Inco sheets on top and just free bleed onto those. If those Inco sheets are used, I have some disposable ones that I can change out for on top of my bed to make it nice and fresh, and I can just free bleed directly onto these. I did a combination of free bleeding and cloth pads last time, but found that I was really sensitive to the cloth pads, so I'll be doing more of this time round. It's a funny one, but yeah, brought some nice postpartum undies, some nice Eco by Natty maternity pads. I feel like I'm going to need more than this, but last time I brought too much, so it's an interesting one. I'm not quite sure what to do. We'll see. Typically my bleeding lasts somewhere between like 1 week and like 10 days, depending on how much activity I've been doing. So I'm hopeful that it'll be even less this time if I'm really, really resting deeply. Other like random things that I have is some postpartum bedside activities for the kids. So there's some stickers here, there's some little workbooks, and I also have this Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Lessons book, because Atticus has been dying to learn how to read, and I know both of them will probably want to sit up with me, and so I thought if we just do 5 minutes a day of this, that would be a really lovely thing to do, just sitting together. I also have, because I get a little bit bored. I find it hard to sit still. I find my mind can be very busy, and I can really miss my family if I'm away from them. And so being upstairs, making it like a home from home for my children as well, but also giving me things to do. So I've got some sewing projects, and I've also got some books. I picked out these two. I love Kristen Hanna. I loved her The Nightingale was the other one that I read. So this is The Four Winds, which I believe is almost as good. So I'm going to read that. And then I've got The Familiars by Stacey Halls. I don't know. I read the back of this and I was like, this could be a little bit scary. We'll see. My tolerance for what is like too shocking or too scary or triggers anxiety in me has gone significantly up since having kids. So we'll see. I'll be gentle with myself on that one. I've also got a little country living magazine, which will be nice to flick through. Some of these things are so silly. I've got a little baby book to fill out. And I buy a diary or like an empty notebook for every one of my kids, and I start writing in it from their pregnancy, and then continue writing in it as they are toddlers and little humans. And so having this nearby me with a pen means that I need to put a pen in there. I need to make a note of that. Means that I can write down my birth story. So looking forward to that. Other things that I put in here. So you have a meal train. Typically our friend group do a meal train for 1 to 2 weeks after we have babies. And so I have added in here this, which is my sort of where it's such a lovely gift. It's the family cookbook, but essentially I put in, whether it's printouts or written in, recipes that I have really enjoyed that my friends or family have made, so that then I can hand this down to my children. So if they're ever looking for like, oh, what was that one thing that mum used to make, or you know, what was that one cake or that one stew or casserole or dish or whatever it was, that they can have a recipe for it themselves. So it's a really lovely gift. It's the My Family Cookbook, and it means I can write any recipes that my friends bring as a meal train, and that can be something special to recook myself once I'm up and cooking, but also just a nice memory too. The other thing that I put beside my bed is this, which is a real, if you aren't already familiar with this book, you need to get a copy. This is The First 40 Days, The Essential Art of Nourishing the New Mother. And honestly, this is going to be beside me for a reminder's sake. Possibly if I want to like flick through it and send my husband to get something in particular, or to do something in particular for me, to support me. But mostly it's just a reminder for me to slow down and to flick through this and just remind myself of how important and sweet and tender that time is, because it goes by very fast, and it's very easy, particularly if you start to feel well, to be tricked into thinking that I should be getting back to normal, which of course we're never the same again after having each baby, but to get back to, you know, more movement or less rest. So that'll be a nice little reminder, I think. The other things that I have in here are just some little tidbits. We've never done soothers, but every time I prepare for a baby who might have really intense sucking needs. So this is the little the Ninny Co pacifier. Really nice for tongue-tied babies who require a little bit of support with suck training and things like that. And then I've also got the Hevea. These are the natural rubber soothers, and I've gone for the ones that are in that sort of symmetrical rounded shape with them, not like I'll share my whole separate video on which soothers I recommend, but that can be, I think we might end up using them, who knows. Another hair bobble, some tissues, and some little nail stuff. This is the nail snail, which is fantastic, and then this is just a little electric buzzer, which also can be really useful for doing my nails as well, if I feel that way inclined. I feel like there's a couple of things more that I need to get. Okay, this is my postpartum supplies checklist. Breast pads, nipple balm or silverettes, herbal teas and tinctures, which I'm going to be filling up in my flask, wool lounge socks, dressing gown, nursing pillow and cover, muslin cloths. I might need to get a couple of those. Pads, cloth pads, peri bottle. I have to get one of those, put that beside the loo though. Some sort of womb oil for massage, hands-free snacks. I need to get some more snacks. I'm going to do a whole separate video on foods and like one-handed snacks and soupy, brothy, warming, easy digestible meals, books, activities for the little ones, and my carrier. So that's really all of the things. I am very excited to meet this little baby, and even more excited to just lean into a slower pace. We've doing a lot more home time recently, which has felt really nice, just as like a practice run, a trial run, because I don't plan on going anywhere a whole lot once this baby girl arrives. And I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you think there's anything at all that I missed, and share with me down below what your must-have postpartum essential was or is.